Floats it up, banks it in. Anissa Morrow with 9 points, 7 goals.
That's a smart play by 24.
Sims feeds Mitchell. It's just not been her day.
The refs couldn't steal this one. After all the frustration and anger boiling over from Game 1's controversial officiating, the Indiana Fever stormed into Gainbridge Fieldhouse with fire in their eyes and never looked back, completely dismantling the Atlanta Dream in a defensive masterclass to take Game 2 of the WNBA playoffs. This wasn't just a victory. It was a statement, the Fever's first playoff win in nearly a decade, achieved with Caitlin Clark standing and cheering from the sidelines. With 5 key players out, this win meant so much more than just evening the series. It was a declaration that this team could rise from the ashes of adversity and fight for something bigger than themselves. And when Aliyah Boston finally addressed the media post-game, her words didn't just recap the night, they captured the very heartbeat of this team. What she revealed lit a fire in the fan base, and it's something no Fever supporter will ever forget. If you're feeling that same energy, drop a "Let's Go Fever" in the comments, because this fight isn't over. Game 3 is coming. One more game to win. One more war to fight. Game 3, baby. We're headed to Atlanta, and we're not done yet. The atmosphere inside Gainbridge before tip-off wasn't just about playoff basketball. It was about payback. Fans didn't just show up ready to cheer. They showed up carrying the sting of Game 1's ending. An ending that felt stolen by questionable whistles and one-sided calls. The word robbery was thrown around, and you could feel the outrage hanging in the air. This wasn't just frustration, it was disbelief. Indiana had fought with everything they had in Game 1, only to walk away feeling like the scales were tipped against them. Nothing highlighted that anger more than an early call on Lexi Hull. This play set the tone for the fury of the fan base. Ryan Howard was driving to the basket, Lexi guarding her step for step, backpedaling cleanly with her hands straight up. Textbook defense, and yet the whistle blew. Fans were livid. It was a perfect defensive effort turned into a foul. And it sent a message to the Fever. Even their best efforts weren't being rewarded. But on this night, Indiana wasn't just battling bad memories of whistles and missed opportunities. They were also missing 5 key players, including their superstar rookie Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. That kind of disadvantage could have crushed them before the ball even tipped. Instead, it lit a fire. Head coach Stephanie White made sure of that. Before the game, she spoke to her team with raw honesty about what was missing in Game 1. She didn't sugarcoat it. She talked about the desperation and urgency that every player needed to bring to every possession. Her message wasn't just about strategy, it was about heart. She was issuing a challenge to her team to dig deep and fight like their season depended on it, because it did. She reminded them of the little things, winning the 50/50th balls, crashing the boards, refusing to let Atlanta control the pace. When the game tipped off, you could feel that message sinking in. The Fever didn't just play harder. They played with purpose. From the opening possession, they set a tone that left the referees irrelevant. Indiana scored first and defended with relentless energy, never giving Atlanta a chance to settle in. By the time the first quarter ended, it was clear. This was going to be Indiana's game on their terms. For the first time since 2002, the Fever led wire-to-wire in a playoff game. No ties, no lead changes. 40 minutes of absolute control. That's how you erase controversy. That's how you silence the narrative hanging over from Game 1. Defensively, the Fever were nothing short of dominant. Atlanta, a team known for its perimeter shooting, couldn't find any rhythm. Indiana's pressure smothered them from the start. In the first half, the Dream shot a miserable 1-for-10 from beyond the arc. By the end of the game, they had only slightly improved, finishing 5-for-19 from deep and under 40% from the field overall. Every shot felt rushed, every possession disrupted. Indiana dictated the game in every way possible. This wasn't just a defensive effort, it was a defensive statement. On offense, the Fever didn't just rely on one player to carry them. Everyone stepped up. Natasha Powers battled in the paint, fighting for rebounds and converting tough shots inside. Kelsey Mitchell brought her usual spark, attacking relentlessly and setting the tone with her aggression. Lexi Hull, still fuming from that Game 1 whistle, locked in and delivered on both ends of the floor. And then there was Aliyah Boston, a force in the post, matching up against Atlanta's bigs and holding her ground with pure strength and skill. Stephanie White's words before the game rang true. The team needed desperation, and they showed it every single possession. The second half was where Indiana's grit truly shined. Atlanta tried to push back, but every time they made a small run, the Fever slammed the door shut. When the final buzzer sounded, Stephanie White gathered her team together and reminded them of what they had just accomplished and what still lay ahead. She praised their heart, their resilience, and their refusal to fold under pressure. But she also reminded them the job isn't done. There's still one more game to win. The crowd inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse was electric all night, eating off every steal, every bucket, every defensive stand. Caitlin Clark, even though she couldn't play, was right there in the thick of it, standing and clapping, pouring her energy into her teammates. Her presence added an extra layer of motivation for the Fever and their fans. It felt like the entire city of Indianapolis was united behind this team. For Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, and Aliyah Boston, this game was more than just a playoff win. It was their first ever playoff game on Indiana's home floor. It's a milestone moment that symbolized how far this franchise has come. The Fever hadn't hosted a postseason game since 2016, and now here they were, not only hosting, but dominating. This victory was more than just a number in the win column. It was redemption. It was proof that no matter how many players were out, no matter how unfair things seemed in Game 1, the Fever could take control of their destiny. Game 3 now looms large, with everything on the line in Atlanta. And if Indiana plays with the same fire, desperation, and unity they showed in Game 2, they'll be unstoppable. Game 3, baby. The Fever are coming, and they're not finished yet. Sydney Colson was unavailable. Chloe Bai couldn't play, and Ari McDonald was also sidelined. That meant 5 key players gone before the opening tip. A brutal blow on the most important night of the year. Indiana's rotation was paper thin, forcing everyone left to dig deep and find another gear. The question loomed large. Who would rise to fill that massive void? Atlanta knew the Fever were shorthanded and tried to exploit it early, attacking the paint and pushing the tempo. But Indiana refused to fold. The answer to that question came quickly, and it came from the player who has been the heartbeat of this franchise for years, Kelsey Mitchell. From the opening minutes, she took command of the game and never let up. Mitchell didn't just play well. She took over, pouring in a game-high 19 points while knocking down 4 critical three-pointers. These weren't just shots, they were daggers that stretched the lead and forced Atlanta to chase the scoreboard all night long. Without Caitlin Clark on the floor drawing defenders, Mitchell had to create her own offense, demand defensive attention, and carry the scoring load possession after possession. She embraced the challenge completely. This was her stage, her first home playoff game in Indiana, and she made sure Gainbridge Fieldhouse had plenty to celebrate. After the game, when asked where this win ranked in her career, Mitchell stayed humble, highlighting the group effort that brought them there. "It takes a village," she said. "We all piggyback off each other within our group and our organization." This first playoff win here was huge because we've been resilient all year, fighting through so many ups and downs. It just felt incredible to finally come out on top and do something great for a change. While Mitchell carried the offense on the perimeter, Aliyah Boston went to work inside. She delivered the kind of steady, powerful performance that makes her an unstoppable presence in the paint. Boston scored 15 points, grabbed key rebounds, and dished out 3 assists, quietly dictating the game's rhythm from the interior. Facing a tough, physical Atlanta frontcourt, she used her footwork and strength to score in the post while also drawing double teams that freed up her teammates for open looks. Every trip down low sent a message. Indiana now had a dominant centerpiece who couldn't be pushed around. Even in the high-pressure environment of the playoffs, Stephanie White had been clear before the game. She wanted Boston to attack more aggressively, go downhill and force the issue offensively. Boston delivered exactly that. The matchup between her and Atlanta's Bree Jones was a battle of strength and skill. And this time, Boston flipped the script. Instead of being neutralized like in Game 1, she controlled the paint and forced Atlanta to react to her moves, setting the tone for Indiana's entire offense. If Boston was the foundation, Natasha Howard was the grit. She played with relentless toughness, scoring 12 points, pulling down 5 rebounds, and providing the physical edge Indiana desperately needed. Howard did the dirty work, fighting for position under the rim, slipping into open spaces on offense, making hustle plays that don't always show up in the box score, but completely changed the game's momentum. Her play wasn't flashy, but it was fierce and essential, especially in a game where every possession mattered. Then came the spark no one saw coming. Rookie Michaela Timson, who had seen limited minutes all season, stepped up and gave Indiana a massive boost when they needed it most. In just 9 minutes of action, she scored 9 points, attacking with fearless energy and finishing quick, aggressive moves around the basket. Her confidence in such a high-stakes playoff atmosphere stunned both Atlanta and the crowd. Those 9 points weren't just a number, they were a surge of momentum right when Indiana needed a lift. Proof that even with a short rotation, the Fever's depth still had surprises to offer. As the third quarter wound down, Gainbridge Fieldhouse erupted into pure chaos, thanks to Lexi Hall. With the clock ticking down, Hull lined up a deep 3 and buried it at the buzzer, sending the arena into a deafening roar. The crowd's reaction said it all. They had been waiting years for a moment like that inside their home arena. Hull's shot didn't just stretch the lead to 15 heading into the final quarter. It sent a message that this was Indiana's night, and Atlanta wasn't getting it back. Every single player had a hand in this win, together. They showed that resilience isn't just a word thrown around in post-game interviews. It's the very identity of this Fever team. Even with 5 players sidelined, they didn't break. They battled through every challenge and suffocated Atlanta on defense, holding the Dream to just 60 points in a 77-60 victory. While the offensive highlights were spectacular, it was Indiana's defense that ultimately decided the game. Atlanta never found a rhythm. Every pass, every cut, every shot was contested. By the second half, the Dream were completely out of sync, forced into rushed shots and turnovers. Indiana dictated every aspect of the game, proving that, even shorthanded, they could still dominate through effort and execution. Boston's impact went far beyond her scoring. Without Caitlin Clark running the offense, Boston became Indiana's anchor, standing tall in the middle and dictating the flow on both ends of the floor. She didn't just play her role, she expanded it. She was the emotional leader and the physical presence, forcing Atlanta to make tough decisions every trip down. Each adjustment they tried to make ran straight into her dominance in the paint. The challenge was massive. Atlanta's front court is one of the most physical in the league, and Boston had struggled in Game 1 against Bree Jones. That matchup had given Indiana problems before, but in Game 2, Boston refused to be contained. She flipped the narrative, proving that she could meet that challenge head-on and turn the interior battle into one of Indiana's biggest strengths. When the final buzzer sounded, Indiana didn't just walk off the court with a win, they walked off with a renewed belief in themselves. This wasn't just about tying the series. It was about proving that no matter how short-handed they were, no matter how stacked the odds seemed, the Fever would not back down. Now the series shifts back to Atlanta for a decisive Game 3. And if Indiana brings the same fire and fight, they'll be ready to finish the job. She worked Bree Jones out of her comfort zone, staying strong on the block and making her presence felt on every single possession. The difference was obvious. Atlanta could no longer run their offense through the paint the way they had in Game 1. With that option gone, everything for the Dream began to feel rushed and forced. When asked post-game about her mindset during that crucial run, Aliyah Boston broke it down simply. "For me, it was just about staying assertive," Boston said. "Reading the defense, trying to get good possessions. When I get the ball, I just feel it out, figure out if I need to shoot it or pass it. I'm just taking what the defense gives me. It wasn't only about stopping one player, though. Boston knew that every time she touched the ball inside, Atlanta would have to send extra defenders. Instead of letting those double teams disrupt her, she used them to her advantage. She swung the ball to open teammates, found cutters slicing through the lane, and created clean looks for shooters like Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull. That growth was striking. Earlier in her career, double teams could slow Boston down, forcing tough shots or turnovers. In this game, she flipped the script and turned that pressure into a weapon. It's why the ongoing debate about whether Indiana has the interior strength to handle dominant players like Brittany Griner has quieted. Boston keeps proving she can anchor the Fever against the league's toughest front courts. Then there was the sequence late in the third quarter that completely swung the momentum. Indiana got a key defensive tip and capped it off with Lexi Hull burying a buzzer-beating three that sent Gainbridge Fieldhouse into chaos. "That was huge for us," Boston said. Scoring, then getting that tip, then Lexi hitting that three, the energy, everyone felt it. The crowd was going crazy, and we just rode that momentum into the fourth. Boston's poise on the court made her post-game words hit even harder. When asked what fueled Indiana, she didn't hold back her pride. She called the defensive effort a masterclass and described the locker room as electric, full of belief in what they had built together. She explained that they were completely locked in, not just for one night, but as a group that now truly understood what they were capable of achieving. "Everyone was happy," Boston said, smiling. "The vibes were really great. Like Kelsey said, this was huge for us. Our backs were against the wall, and we've been through so much this season. To come out with this win and give ourselves another chance in Game 3, emotions are high." Even Caitlin Clark, sidelined for the remainder of the year, couldn't hide her emotions. She reacted on social media with a heartfelt post about Lexi Hull's clutch shot, showing how connected the entire team is, those on the floor and those stuck on the sideline. That unity makes Indiana dangerous. It's a bond that goes beyond lineups and rotations, one that could carry them even deeper into the postseason. Now the focus shifts to Game 3. The series is tied, momentum has swung, and it all comes down to one night in Atlanta for the Fever. The challenge is clear. Take the dominance they displayed in Game 2 and bring it to the Dream's home court. The Gateway Center Arena will be loud and hostile, and Atlanta will be desperate to defend their season. But this is exactly the type of storm Indiana has prepared for all year long. Head coach Stephanie White emphasized how Indiana's defense will once again be the key, holding them to 60 points tonight. "It was all about our aggressiveness and attention to detail," White said. "Our ability to contest shots without fouling and stay disciplined was huge. We played solid defense down there, and tonight our offense started to click as well. I'm so proud of this group. Their toughness, their resilience, and their ability to respond." Atlanta's biggest issue is that Game 2 exposed every one of their weaknesses. They couldn't hit shots consistently. Their offense stalled without easy paint touches. Indiana's defense completely smothered them. Now, as the decisive Game 3 looms, the Fever know exactly what it will take to finish the job. Stay aggressive, stay disciplined, and carry their unshakable belief into enemy territory.